Hello all and welcome to the Mug Life DIY. My name is Julia and I am so glad you decided to stop by my channel where I do all things crafting, mom life, you name it, with a whole bunch of hot glue. And I want to also tell you today I am showing you my very new Plaid crafts. I'm so excited. I just received my Plaid ambassador kit and they sent me so many amazing goodies. If you don't know what Plaid is, they are the ones that create, everything. Apple barrel paint, which is what I am using today. These amazing glass paintbrushes, just Mod Podge, folk art. They have everything. I'm going to have the website in my description box along with all of these colors. So I am doing a whole bunch of Dollar Tree bohemian styled DIYs. So I had this Dollar Tree vase that I picked up, actually I think I hauled it several months ago, and I was inspired by my friend Nicole over at the Week's Nest. I will have her video linked in my description box, and she made this really fun painted, dry brushed, amazing vase out of this Dollar Tree mason jar. So I decided to put a bohemian twist on it. So I painted the lid a flat black and I added a little bit of cinnamon to add a rusted look. I took one of my wooden beads that I actually believe I took it from a necklace. And I'm also going to take Dollar Tree cork ribbon. I absolutely love this stuff. It's amazing. I believe I've had it for quite some time. And I'm just going to hot glue every couple of inches, probably honestly like every inch I glued it and I pulled it just so it would be extremely taut. I wanted this to kind of mimic almost like a cork top, a wood top. So having glued around the top edge, it just really gives that faux wood look, which is exactly what I was going for. Then I'm going to use my Plaid glass paintbrushes. I was really excited to try them, and I feel like the actual the bristle of the brush is just, it's a different material, and I really loved the coverage that it had. And I'm just going to lightly dry brush to kind of really bring out the, the pattern, to bring out the pattern of this glass vase or mason jar. I keep calling it a vase, I don't know. And I just really think that white and the blue is just such a pretty complement to each other. And I was just really inspired by kind of more natural blues, and that's kind of the look that we're gonna go with all throughout. Now the blue color, I did mix two colors, the bright blue with some black. All right, so project 2 is going to be just kind of upcycling this piece that I've had for quite some time. I believe I made it for fall time, but it's taking a Dollar Tree vase that I had already painted white, had some raffia, and we're going to give it a facelift. So I kind of mixed some more of that blue. It's almost like a denim blue, and I'm obsessed with it. And really just kind of tried to get within all of those grooves. I didn't worry too much if it wasn't a complete coverage because I knew I was going to be dry brushing. Because this is a textured glass, you definitely have to do like kind of all different angles. You'll see me kind of going sideways, up, down, just trying to really get it into that texture of the glass. And like I said, we're going to do the same technique that we did on the first one and just dry brushed all of those really pretty raised parts of the glass. I believe it says like something since 1810, and it's just a really fun, pretty piece, especially when you highlight the other pieces with a white or a khaki or a tan, whatever color you have to highlight those pieces. Really kind of adds that extra layer of dimension. And to have this piece complement my first piece, I am going to add that same cork ribbon all the way to the top side, cut it down, and hot glue it. Project 3 is also a Dollar Tree Bud Vase, and I really love this. Now it is a quite glossy frame, so I knew I was going to be layering this piece. I have seen a couple of other fellow DIYers Mod Podge it, Me, I didn't really have any issues with it because I did 3 coats of paint. I did a darker first layer, second layer a little bit lighter, and so I just kind of added a little bit of white each time, and I really wanted it to have a textured kind of streaky effect. So as you can see, I'm kind of just doing short strokes with my brush, and this technique allows you to build coverage. You have to let each layer of paint dry completely. Now, I was so determined, y'all, to master the art of stenciling. And with all of you wonderful people, it happened. I was so excited. So I found the little foam brushes from Dollar Tree, and I used those same little stencils and lightly just kind of pounced my brush up and down with barely any paint. Took forever, but I'm obsessed. And I am going to lightly dry brush all around this piece to age it, give it that worn, weathered, handmade look to it. And of course, I go one more step. This is one of my bronzed metallic paints from Plaid. It is amazing. The color is just so gorgeous. I feel like the video just doesn't even give it an accurate depiction of how pretty it is. I did have to do 2 coats of the paint, let it completely dry, but with the second coat, before it completely dried, kind of wanted to give it that faux terracotta look. So what's my go-to, y'all? Y'all know. I took some cinnamon and just kind of lightly patted it into the damp paint. I think it just kind of highlighted, gave it a little bit of texture and color, and it smells quite good. So that's what I did for the bottom half. But once I did that, wasn't quite happy at how the top looked. I felt it looked a little lonely. So I had to add something also to the top. I took some of it's that medium tone of the faux leather ribbon from Dollar Tree and glued it to the top section of my little Bud vase. And I just think it balanced out the bottom little terracotta section. And it's just a really fun texture to look on the vase. And on to the 4th project, I am going to make a lighter version of that blue to just kind of complement, but I wanted just a little bit of slight variety to it. So I just added a tad bit of white to my paint. And if you don't recognize this shape, well, you might not have grown up in the 90s. I'm just joking. So this is a Marshmallow Fluff Jar. It is the super thick plastic, super durable. I could not find the top anywhere. I looked and looked and looked, and I have no idea what I did with it. So I decided to go in a different direction with this. I did 2 coats of my acrylic paint, and then I decided, hey, the last project went well with the whole stenciling, so I'm going to try it again. This is a Dollar Tree stencil, it comes in a little 4-pack. And I just loved this pattern. I just thought it was so pretty. I was super determined, and I literally just held it as I went. And then I kind of just lightly pounced all the way around and held it and moved and held it and moved. As you can kind of see, I did those small little sections. I didn't do it too large, did it kind of small, but I definitely had to dry it just to make sure that it wouldn't smudge as I was moving it all the way around. Now, once I completed my stencil all the way around my little jar, that's my little Marshmallow Fluff Jar, I took some of that same little medium tone leather ribbon, faux leather ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I glued that all the way around the top. Now, it was a little bit thick and I wasn't quite digging it, but you would not have to do this extra step. Like I said, I just went the extra mile, and I cut it down and I kind of just glued it on the very bottom, but I don't think I measured it well enough because I wasn't too happy with that size. And so after I did all of that hard work of gluing, cutting, all of that, burning my finger 1,000 times, I decided to also add some jute string to the very top section just to finish off the look. Now, when I was setting up my vases, I didn't think they were complete. So I am going to take that same little stencil, a Dollar Tree little tile frame, and I'm going to stencil that same pattern onto the tile. And I did end up making 2 of these because I fell in love with them, because it's such a beautiful and simple, easy project to make. So I did the exact same thing. I am dabbing, 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 holding it as I go. Now, I didn't use Mod Podge. I'm gonna admit to you guys, I just wanted simple, easy projects, and they worked, and I was so happy with the stenciling. I'm sure it still takes a little bit more practice to get those crisp lines, or to take your time, or use, the Mod Podge, but I was so happy with how it turned out. I mean, come on, so much better, you guys have to admit. And I just put the tile piece back in the frame after, of course, I had to heat to dry it because I need things to go faster. So after I inserted my little painted tile back in, I am going to take some Dollar Tree little Jenga building blocks, and I used 8 of them. Once I grabbed 8 of them, I'm going to kind of make an L shape out of the 2, glue them down all the way around, and that's going to kind of elevate the piece up to be a little bit of a stand. And y'all, come on, I am obsessed. This little Bud Vase is just so adorable. It is so cute. I can't wait to make more of these. I mean, how fun and whimsical is that? And my little faux wooden top and this vase, I mean, you could totally unscrew it, use it in your kitchen, add some little goodies, maybe even like a little candy jar. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And remember how I told you I made 2 of these? I did, because it was that easy to do. This would also be really great gifts to anyone. You can pop these out. Literally, I think it took me 5 minutes. It was an amazing, amazing piece to do. And here's that other one I made. I elevated my little milk jar, and I'm obsessed. I hope you guys really enjoyed this blue inspired bohemian Dollar Tree DIYs. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let me know which one is your favorite.